Hello. Welcome to Gall's Concepts. Here I would be uploading tutorial videos on design hacks and tips and also on some of my designs. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like this video and hit the notification bell so you would be notified whenever we drop a new video. Thank you.
Welcome once again to Gall's Concepts. In this tutorial video, I'll be showing you how to design an amazing restaurant flyer, which you can use as a template format for your restaurant designs. So this is going to be our target design. As you can see here now. The resources I'll be using for this tutorial video will be available in the description of this video. So just check it out and download them. So then we'll move straight to it. Our background. We're going to import background from the folder. So this is the background I'll be using for this design, and I'll be using a square that's one by one. So I have that already prepared. Then I'm going to over here to edit. Then the brightness, I'll reduce the brightness to something around minus 55. Minus 55 should be enough. Then saturation, I'm just increase saturation a little bit. 7, that's okay now. So then I'll import something else now. Come over to object edit. Then import. I'm going to import the starburst I'm going to be using for this design. Starburst. So once that is done now, I'll ensure this is on 100% size. Size is 100%. You can see now. 100%. So once that is done, then I'll come over to color, ensure it's on a black. Then opacity, reduce the opacity a little bit, something around 30. Okay, 30 is okay. Yeah, once that is verified. So we are okay with that now. Then we are going to lock that now. And let me ensure it is centralized first. Okay, that's done. Then I'm going to lock that. So we are done with that also now. Then I'm going to import the shades I'm going to be using for this also. The shade, okay, it's over here. So this is it now. I'm going to import that. Ensure the size is on 100% also. This is more than 100. So 100, then centralize. Now you can't use it this way, so we have to reduce opacity. Opacity something around 49. And the color, we must verify this color is black, so we can just come over here and make it black again. So then once that is done, then you lock that also. So we are done with the background now. So then we'll come over here to circle. We want to create a circle now, and on this circle we'll be using size of a very large size. So we can just come here first and come over to size to verify. Okay, it's not yet enough. Size. Okay, I guess 186 should be cool. No. Okay, 185 is okay. 185. So on this now, let's just centralize this first. Now duplicate it again. Copy. We're going to copy once, then centralize that one. Then copy again. You can see it's now 3. Then centralize that one also now. So then you can come over here to your layers to verify that you already have 3. On the first one here, come over to texture. We're going to attach a texture to that. We're going to attach this green texture to that. You can see now. So once that is done now, the scale is also 100%. Then now come over to opacity. Reduce the opacity to something around, it's very small. We just need green effect to show a little bit. Okay, I guess 5 is okay. Then you now come over to layers again now. you can lock this now and come over to the second one, then attach color black. Have I centralized that? Okay, I'm sure it's centralized also. Then color, we are going to be using black. Then we are going to be using black. And you can see the grain effect showing now. Then on the last one, this last one now, you know you already have the size. You can bring it to front first. To front. Already have it at the front. Then increase the size just a little bit. Just a little bit now. Centralize. Then take it behind again. You can now take it behind. Lock this one. So now we are editing this. You now edit as yellow. Yellow. This is the shade of yellow I'm going to be using for this design. That's FFE 500. FFE 500. So you won't see it now until now. Ensure it is also centralized. You can come over here, verify these ones are also centralized. So now then you move. I'm going to move the three items together now. I'm going to move it down. Can you see now? So once that is done, now, we will now move next to the next thing and ensure everything here is logged. So let's come over here, bring this to front first so that we can see if what we are doing is correct. Okay, we are still in line. Then let's go over to the text now. So the first text we are going to be coming up with is the main text. That's this special. I'm going to come up with special first. Special. On this special, we're going to be using someone fonts. That's the font. The zip file of the font is also available. No, it's already extracted, so the extracted font is already available in the description also. Then I'm going to be using someone font. You can see now someone font. Okay, and the size I'm going to be using for that is around 100. Size. That's too much. Okay, 107 is okay. 107 is okay now. Then we are going to copy. You can just duplicate this now since we are using the same font. Then now write delicious menu. So that is done. Then increase the size a little bit to something around 200 size. Okay, 192 is okay. Then come over here to color. We are still going to be using that shade of yellow again. And so we are using the same shade of yellow now. Then ensure it is centralized. Then you can now come over here to edit this. I want this to be at a considerable position. So once that is done now, then we now come over to our other details, like we are having the order now. So for order now, we are going to be using radius. It's going to have a radius of 19%. So that's okay now. Then we now come over to size. 27 and 27. Okay, 27, 7 and 28. So you can just reduce this a little bit. Size. Okay, this is okay now. This is okay now. Then ensure it is centralized also. Okay, move it down a little bit, just a little. So now once that is done, now we're going to give it a color of yellow now. Then text, we come over to our text, then attach a text. That's order now. And then the exclamation mark. Ensure everything is in capital cases. Then I'm sorry, not size now. Okay, we can adjust the size first. So we'll be using a considerable size of 47. Okay, then come over to fonts. We're going to be using the BalooBhai. You can see now. Then you come over here. Ensure the color is set to be black. You can see now. In this case now, you can reduce the size a little bit just to fit in there. You can reduce the size again. Let's use 40. So you also ensure that it's centralized now. You can see now, ensure that it's centralized. So then we now come over to our food slots now. Come over to food slots. We're going to be having circle now. We're going to be using circle now. So we're going to be using 3 levels of circles for each slot. We're going to be using the one that will contain the food, then the stroke, then the dashed circle. So first of all, we're going to have this now. Let's now adjust the size. The size you're going to be using for that is going to be around 42. Ensure the circle is perfect. Edit, then size. Okay, then ensure this is centralized also, then you can just move it down a little bit. Okay. So once that is done, then now duplicate this, copy this now, then attach size. We're going to be using the next 2 circles. We're going to be using, we're having size lower than this. So and the size for that is something around just 10 difference from that. That's 32. So you're going to be having somewhere here. Then duplicate this also, copy. You're going to be having this somewhere here. So now let's import in. Okay, on this now also duplicate this now. Increase just the size a little bit relative to that. Just 44. I guess this is too much. Okay, this should be okay now. Then now send to back behind the first one you did. This is it now. You can verify it by attaching a different color. You can see now. You can attach a different color to verify that. So now to ensure alignment sake, then let's lock these 2. Then on this one now, we can move the 2 of them to the center. Not that 2. Coming, but not mix this up. So we're having this. We're having this. Okay, then these 2 items, move them up a little bit. Then on the one at the front, ensure it's at the center. At the center to center. Then the one behind it also, ensure it's at the center. Center to center now. You can verify the one behind by placing a different color on that. You can see now. I guess it's too much, so let's just reduce it a little bit. I guess this should be okay now. Okay, yes, this is okay now. So then we're going to import something else. We're going to import the dash circle. That's the dash circle we're going to be using. First of all, remove background, remove color for that. Removing the white. Remove the white, increase tolerance to 70. Then ensure the color is on yellow. We're going to be using yellow. You see yellow now. Now reduce the size to something around something relative. Let's adjust the relative position first. That means we still need to increase the size a little bit. So we are going to increase the size to 45. Okay, I guess it's okay now. Then the one at the front now, okay, that is now at the back. Then we send this to back. And this is the main fly, and this is the main circle we are going to be using. Then come over to your texture. Then we attach one of these, okay, this. Ensure it is on the 1 by 1. So that is done now. Then on the other one now, on this, we attach color. Color is going to be yellow in this case now. This color is yellow. So the 3 items, you now move them together. Now move 3 items together now. Okay, once that is done now, the top two, you can see the top two now, you move them to the front. You're going to be placing them at the front. Ensure you don't lose track of them. So okay, that is done now. Oh, sorry, this is meant to be a white. This is meant to be a white. Okay now. So on this now, we already played the circle. We already played the size already. All we just need to do now is duplicate this first. Duplicate, copy. Now increase the size a little bit. I'm going to increase the size to something around. This is 32, so let's just use 33 then. Now place this at center. Place this at center also. Then send this behind. I'm going to send it behind. You can lock the previous one so that you won't lose the one you are using now. Lock this. So these are the 2 items you are using now, this and this. So on this now, you're going to come over to your texture and replace texture. This is okay. You can resize it a little bit so that you can have the focus on that. So that is okay now. Then we are going to duplicate the dash circle we have here. Duplicate, copy now. I'm going to copy this and resize to something around. Since we use 33 for that, let's just use 34. 34 is okay. Then centralize now. And send behind. I'm going to send behind the main 2 designs, main 2 slots we have. Okay, once that is done now, you can lock the previous one. That's one for the center now, so that I can know the ones you are using for this. Now we are going to move the items together. Move. And select this and this. Then you move. Okay, now that is done now, I'm going to search in for this. Okay, this now duplicate, because we are going to be using this again now. We are going to be having this at the front, then this at the. Sorry, I already locked this before. Let me highlight this. I'm having this. Okay, this now. We're going to place it at the front. You can see 2 fronts now. Then lock initial ones, lock all these ones. This one also duplicate it, copy. Okay, that is done now. It's done. So now on this, we are going to be having this also now. On this one now, we are going to be having texture. This is it over here. Ensure it is on 1 by 1 and resize so they can have the focus on that. Okay, that is done. Now centralize, and this one also centralize, and this also centralize. We're now going to move the 3 items together now. So move the 3 items together. or first, okay, I'm going to do something else on that. Okay, that is done now. So to ensure alignment, of this portion and this portion, what we are going to do is that we are going to move them to the center first, then move them back to their relative position. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to adjust this. You come over to relative position here, then center. You can see now center. Then this one also, what I'm going to do is this. I'm identifying them. This. So now this and this, then go to relative position, center. You can see now center. Now we're going to move the three items together. But first of all, let me move this one over here a little bit. Okay, that is done now. Now we're going to move the items together. This and this. And we're having this three. Yes, I'm sure. Okay, yes, that's three. So now we come to position here, then move the three items together now. If you notice, this is still being placed at the front. You can see this is still being placed at the front now. And I'm going to try my best to move it to the back. Then come over to this thing. Identify the one we want to be at the front, these two. Now move them relatively and move again. You can see they are locked, so you can easily identify them. Now it's already placed at the front. Then we can now lock all the circles you've used. Lock them. So that is okay for that now. Then we'll now come over to icons. We are going to be using some icons, but first of all, let's write the contact us first. Text, edit, contact us. So on this now, I'm going to be using color of yellow. Then the font I'm going to be using is the previous font, that's MTN. No, okay, MTN in this case now. I've not used it before now. So I'm going to be using MTN Bright Sans Medium. Then size, contact us size, that is size 18. Nineteen is okay now. So that's for that. Sorry. Okay, now then we import icons. But first of all, let me import this. This is the one directing us to this now. Then size, we are going to reduce the size for this. This is okay like this. You can just come and verify size here. And this should be okay. Just resize a little bit. Now import icons also. WhatsApp icon. Resize also then. We're going to be using size 2%. That is. And you now come over here to adjust this. So once that is done now, we can now attach color and see we're going to be using this. And you can just duplicate it and replace this now. Then replace. Let's replace the Instagram icon now. So now resize this also, then give it something around size. Okay, 3% is okay for this. This is bigger than this. Let's just adjust this size to 3%. Okay, that is okay then. Ensure both of them are aligned. So now that is done also, then we'll come over to our text. You can just duplicate this first. No, not that. Let's lock this. Now duplicate this text, copy now, then color first. We're going to be using white in this case, white. then you come over to edit now. Let me edit the phone number first. I'm going to be using +2348026021489. Then okay, that is done now. So for the contact number, that is done also. Then the size is also on 18% or 19% or 19, sorry. Now duplicate this also, then we come over here to edit the Instagram handle. You can just edit that as delicious menu _ dishes. So that is done also. So now we also have another text again. You can just duplicate this now. Come over here, we're having free home delivery. Sure, they are all in capital letter. So then you can now come over here to edit now. No, sorry, align. Ensure it's on right alignment. And now adjust so that you can have this. Increase the size a little bit to something around something bigger. Okay, let's just come over to size. So let's ensure it is okay. 44 is okay now. Then come over to color. We are going to be using different cases of color. For this, we are going to be using white. Then for the one below, we are going to be using the yellow, like that. So then you now come over to import again. We're going to import the delivery icon. This is the delivery icon now. So on this now, we're going to come over to erase color now. Erase color, ensure the tolerance is 70, and come over to color, ensure it's on this yellow. Now resize delivery, that's something around, let's come over to relative size. 8% should be enough. Then now come over here to adjust this. So this should be okay now. So this special and delicious menu, let's just move it up a little bit. Special and delicious menu, so just a little bit. So now the kitchen name now, let's just duplicate this since it's the same font we are going to be using. Then I'm editing that as gracious dishes. Ensure it's on capcase. So then spacing, because I want it to be have a little spacing, I'm going to attach spacing of something large. Okay, 61 to be enough. Then you come over to size. It's also the same 19 we're meant to use, sorry. Okay, 19 now, that's okay. Then come over to color. We are not going to be using yellow in this case, we're going to be using white. So they're going to import an icon which I downloaded for the logo. Let's import now this. Then come over to erase color. So again, erase color, ensure tolerance is 70. Then come over to color, edit it as yellow, then resize. Then you can just move it up a little bit. So once you have everything already fixed now, you can now come over to gracious also and the logo. Then ensure they have center alignment. This is how we are going to go by that. Gracious dishes. Ensure show center alignment. So that is done for that. And we have just few more things to go. We have just few more things left, and that is the get up to offer. So this we're just going to come over here. Then size is something around 9 should be enough, or let's use 10. Then come over here to color. We're going to be using this yellow. See this dash circle that we used before, I'm going to duplicate one of them, copy, now resize. Now I'm going to be using size around 11. So let me just place both of them at the center first so that we can have alignment at center, and take this to behind this. Now we can now move to a relative position that we want to use. So this is okay. Now I'm not going to import other circles against shapes. I'm going to import other shapes now. This will have opacity of 0%. Then the stroke width will be on 1. Then the size will be something very small, something very small. And the stroke is going to be having a color of white. So this is okay now. Then I'm going to come over here to resize. I'm using something around 1% for one, then 2% for the other one. It's just like having the touch icon there. So then copy now, then relative size 2, then come over to position, then adjust position for that. So once that is done now, then we come over to text again. We can duplicate this, copy, then we write get up to. Okay, then this is caps lock. Then color, the color in this case is going to be black. I'm going to say black. Then we ensure it is bold now. Then what we are going to be using for that is size. We'll use size a little bit on that. Size. Okay, that's too small. Let's just say 10 now. So now I just move it somewhere here. Then now duplicate this order now, because that's the font we are going to be using also. Then edit this as 30 percentage. So we can now come over here, then place it in the relative position you want it to be. This is the same size as the previous one, so you don't need to panic on that. So then we are going to be having the off. So duplicate this also now, then edit as off. OFF. That is done. Then you can now give it let's give it a relative position first. That will be easier for us to move. Then now move. So the color you're going to be using in this case is going to be color, that's black. Then the size, I'm just going to be something around size 24 should be okay. So now you now see these items now that we have here. Now these items that we have here, let's centralize the 30 also, 30%. Centralize that. Centralize the get up to also. Centralize the dotted circle and the main circle also. Then the dotted circle. Centralize. Now select the get up to first. move it up a little bit. That's too much. So now select the off. You now move it down a little bit. So this is okay now. Then you now move the items that you moved to the center before. Then you move them to a relative position. So once this is done, and this brings us to the end of the video. So let's just confirm if what we have in store was what we later had. Let's take this to front. So you can see now we're having just exactly the same thing we scheduled on having. But there's a fault I noticed somewhere now. You can see on this delicious menu, it was cut at a particular end here. And that now gives us into padding. Increase padding left by 2 or 3, then increase padding right by 3. Sorry, padding right is already more than 3. And ensure it is centralized, and that helps us to solve that. So you can see now we're having just the replica of what we intended on having on this design. Thank you very much for watching up to this moment. Please endeavor to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, and you can share. Thank you.